Good morning. Oh my gosh. This is not only an auspicious occasion, it is truly joyous. I'm sure you all feel the energy. It is just my tremendous pleasure and honor to ask you to give a warm welcome to our mayor, London Breed. You got it. Okay. Thank you.
Already, huh? We're getting started, but today is really a very happy occasion. I am so really honored to be here to celebrate the opening of 83 new 100% affordable housing units in the city and county of San Francisco. What's so amazing about this project is not only are these units, 83 units for formerly homeless persons, but for formerly homeless families, people with children who will have a safe, affordable place to call home. 50% of the units will go to people who unfortunately were homeless on our streets here in San Francisco. That is something that we can absolutely be proud of. But we know we have more work to do. We know that we have a long way to go. But I am hopeful. I'm optimistic because not so long ago, I stood in this very room with a number of nonprofit organizations, a number of leaders in affordable housing and homeless services. We stood in this room and we talked about an unanticipated amount of money that came to the city and county of San Francisco. We did not expect this additional revenues, and I am proud to report that not only has the Board of Supervisors and I worked out an agreement for those funds, but I signed that legislation today. The ERAF funding will go into effect, and as a result, right next door to 1036 Mission, we are going to build 250 new affordable housing units, 100% for formerly homeless individuals. 250 units. And I gotta tell you, it is a great time to be mayor in San Francisco, because although we know that our number one challenge is addressing homelessness and trying to make sure that sadly people who are struggling on our streets get a safe and affordable place to call home, folks are hopeful about the future of San Francisco. We're out there working every single day with so many amazing partners, people who are willing to invest in projects just like this. And I just want to thank TNDC and thank you, Don, for your commitment to not only support and help build new affordable housing projects all over our city, but your work in rehabilitating some of our existing affordable housing projects so that those places are also safe and the conditions of those that those residents are living in are good and quality conditions as well. So I am just really excited to be here today, and I am so excited for especially the families, the people who are living here, the people who will be raising their children here and walking their kids to school from this very place. It's an exciting time in our city, as I said, and so many incredible people to thank, including Don Falk and TNDC. Thank you to the Mayor's Office of Housing and Community Development, Kate Hartley. Thank you so much for being here, as well as Jeff Kaczynski and the Department of Homelessness and Supportive Housing for providing the wraparound support necessary to not only make sure that these families have a safe, affordable place to call home, but they thrive in the city and county of San Francisco. And congratulations again to all the families. Thank you to all the employees and all the folks that are going to continue to work with us to ensure that we continue in San Francisco to build more housing opportunities like this for so many of our families and so many of the folks who need it the most. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mayor Breed. You honor us with your presence. Please join me in welcoming our Supervisor, Matt Haney.
Thank you. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Mayor Breed, for your leadership in bringing this to fruition and for your leadership in pursuing so many other opportunities for affordable housing. I am so excited to be here as the District 6 Supervisor. This is actually my very first ribbon cutting as Supervisor, and I couldn't imagine a more appropriate place and a more appropriate partner than TNDC to be doing this with. This building and what it represents for the future of our community, for the people, for the residents who are going to live here, for our commitment to make sure that no family is homeless in our city, I think is just such a powerful statement and a joyous occasion. I was a school board member for 6 years, and one of the most painful things that we have in our city is that we have far too many families who are without stable and secure housing, many who are either on and off our streets or into the shelters, some of whom are in studios or doubled up. This is the way that we solve that problem. By building housing of different types where we actually have not just 1 bedrooms, but we have 2 bedrooms, we have 3 bedrooms. We know that families need to be able to have secure and stable housing and that they need to be able to grow as they commit to being in a place. I'm also very excited to see the open space that's here. I got to go up, and if you haven't yet, go up to the 2nd floor and see the beautiful park. It's quiet in a place here in Soma where we're in need of open space. I'm really proud that you've made that commitment. South of Market is a place that needs more affordable housing. It's also a place where families are. And this needs to be a safe and clean and affordable place for families to be. And I look forward to working closely with TNDC for the residents here. And thank you to all of the people who made this possible, all of the organizations, the investors, the staff of TNDC. I know it's a huge operation to make sure that not just that we have housing, but that the people who live here are supported and that they know that they have folks to talk to and places to play, and that they're stable and secure over the long term. So thank you for your leadership. I'll look forward to being at the next ribbon cutting. This is the first of many with Mayor Breed and her staff, and certainly with TNDC. And congratulations to the residents. We're here to support you, and we're so proud for you letting us be a part of this today. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. There can only be one first time. That's us. Thank you. And now I'm just so pleased to welcome to the microphone Abriel Toina, who lives here at 1036 Mission Street.
Oh my God. First, I just want to say thank you to everyone who had a hand in this, making this possible and giving families like me opportunity to, build and have a place to call ours. And just thank you for having me speak this morning. Sorry, I'm nervous. Imagine watching 2 decades of homelessness and shacking up a number of 6 people in a 2-bedroom low-income apartment, or even 12 people in a 4-bedroom apartment. Creating life, I knew what I didn't want for mine nor my baby boys. My name is Abriel, and my 3-year-old son's name is Kezio. We are tenants here at 1036 Mission Apartments with the Tenderloin Neighborhood Development Corporation. From being homeless and staying with many members in my family to staying in a shelter, my journey to sustainable housing has been the most traumatic but humbling experience of my life. I'm a firm believer of the saying, wellness starts from home. And how could my son and I have any wellness or a place to really focus on his child development with no place to call ours? Being a single mother, there were so many obstacles I faced that I couldn't see the light in, and I just didn't want to put my son through. But I knew if I didn't face these temporary circumstances, I wouldn't be able to break the cycle of living in poverty and in homelessness. I am the oldest child of 10 children, and being Polynesian, we put our families first, and we share our small spaces to help one another out, but I didn't want to burden my family anymore. And neither did I want to live in the cycle we were forced to be conditioned with. I did not want to take away from giving my siblings their own space. So I faced my fears and took advantage of every opportunity of finding sustainable housing. What I mean by taking advantage of is utilizing every resource and program I qualify for as a stepping stone to get my son and I where we needed to be. The challenges I faced through my journey with every supportive case manager has brought me stabilized housing with the Tenderloin Neighborhood Development Corporation. Thank you for giving my son and I a place of peace, a place to grow, and a place to call our own.
Gabriel, you are the person who gives this whole morning meaning. Thank you. Many different institutions helped finance the property that we see here, and we wanted to feature two of them in particular for their leadership. First, please welcome Rich Gross from Enterprise.
Thank you. And for those of you that come to these, you know that following the mayor or the resident are the worst two places to be in a list. So I get both of those. Enterprise has a long history with TNDC. We started, you may be wondering why I'm carrying a mug with me. This is a mug from the Ambassador Hotel, which was Enterprise's first deal with TNDC. Since then, we've invested over $200 million in TNDC projects in 10 deals, and we are extremely proud of that. We have given grants to TNDC, we've given loans to TNDC, we've been dumped in pools for TNDC, and we have a member of the board on TNDC's board. And we're also very proud to work with the City of San Francisco. We've worked the Small Sites Program with Hope SF, with RAD, the Housing Accelerator Fund. We're now working on stabilizing some of the multifamily co-ops, which are really critical. And we know that San Francisco is one of the most committed cities in the country for affordable housing. And we work throughout the country, and we know that the crisis is worse here, but the commitment to affordable housing is the strongest here. Don brought up a couple of the people who do the financing, but we know who does the real work on these projects. The developers, the TNDC, the project managers are the ones that sweat blood over the projects, the ones that stay up at night worrying about cost overruns, the one that have to respond to our 40-page checklist for financing, the ones that have to fix things when things go wrong. So I know that the real heroes of this project and of affordable housing projects generally in San Francisco are the developers. So thank you, TNDC. We are honored to be here. We're honored to be a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Rich. Please welcome James Lasuki from Chase Bank.
Thank you, Don. If you haven't already toured the project, definitely do that today. It's such a beautiful project. I love the unique perspective on the jungle gym on the second floor with the piece of driftwood. The kids are going to love that. Chase is such a proud supporter of everything TNDC does, and so proud to be able to support this community today at 1036 Mission. We've talked a lot about the units, but how about the social services that are also going to be provided here? Those are just as important, not just for allowing the residents to live, but really allow the residents to thrive here. They're really going to be able to be their best selves. And Chase really wanted to thank TNDC for what they've done here, but we also really wanted to thank the project manager, who you'll hear from next, Chris Cummings, who's really spent a lot of time bringing this project to fruition. And we also wanted to thank all the other partners involved, from the architect, Mithun Solomon, that I saw here today, the contractor, James E. Roberts, Obayashi, and all the other financial partners, from Enterprise to Silicon Valley Bank, the Federal Home Loan Bank, the Mayor's Office of Housing, and the California Department of Housing and Community Development. And lastly, communities like this are so important to Chase, so just wanted to say thank you for everyone for having us and allowing us to be here today.
So what fun. I get to introduce the project manager for 1036 Mission Street, Chris Cummings.
Hi, everyone. Again, it's Chris from TNDC. I am very lucky that when I joined TNDC in 2013, 1036 Mission was the first project assigned to me. And at that time, it was very much still a vacant parcel of land. But here we are 5 years later. It's a beautiful community asset. And I'm just so proud and so honored to be part of the team that helped put this together. I only have a few moments to speak, so I figured I'd use this time to share just a quick story that I think really embodies how much of a community process this project really was. I remember about 1 or 2 years into the design process, one of the big question marks for us was how we should program and design the beautiful courtyard on the second floor of the building to best meet the needs of our residents. And we had a lot of great design ideas on the table, but we could just not make a decision. And we decided the best way to make a decision is to talk to more people about it. So we did some community outreach. I talked to a dozen people here at TNDC, all of which had some really good ideas. And also, of course, the professionals on our design team as well. And the overall consensus was 1036 Mission is going to house a ton of families. Let's program this space and make it interesting for kids. And so we did, and fast forward to 2018, I remember a very specific day I was on site for a field assessment, and the building wasn't quite done yet, and residents hadn't moved in yet, but fortunately there were some residents on site signing their leases, and I happened to be up in the courtyard checking it out, and one of the property managers brought a family upstairs to kind of show them around the project that they were moving into. And I remember as soon as the family got up there, one of the little boys in the family saw the giant log we have up there, and he immediately ran over to it and climbed to the top and said, "I love this place." And I promise you, I'm not embellishing the story whatsoever. It is 100% true, and I just happened to be at like the very right place at the very right time. I'd love to stand here for the next 10 minutes and like call out every single name of everybody who worked on this project because they did such a good job. I don't have time to do that, but I really would like to encourage folks to pull out the little insert here in the program, which is our acknowledgments list, and just look at how many people touched this project and made it such a successful community asset for us. And if you haven't already, please do go upstairs to the courtyard on the second floor and take a look at it. It's just a beautiful and special place. Thanks for joining us here today, and I really hope you enjoy the rest of your time here at 1036 Mission. Thanks.
Thank you, Chris. Words fail me. So one of the great things about being the MC is I control the microphone. And so before breaking up, I get to share a couple or three thoughts. One is that I'm really proud. TNDC has several properties, including 1036 Mission Street, that are part of the Filipino Cultural District. And so it just is a great honor for us to make the ground floor commercial space here available at a very low rent to one of our longtime partners, allies, and sister agencies, SOMCAN, the South of Market Community Action Network. So they will be moving into the ground floor before the end of the year, and that is one of many ways in which we aspire to honor the Filipino Cultural District. Second thing, I see Casey back there. Will you raise your hand? So Casey. By the way, Mayor Breed, Casey, you met when you did your first walk along Mission Street and you stumbled on 1036 Mission Street, and there was Casey to greet you. So Casey tells me 150 children live here, including 3 who were born since the property opened. It's a... And then I just cannot help but, I won't quite call it reminiscing, but I will say TNDC first eyed this vacant parking lot 11 years ago. Okay, and it's kind of a sad commentary on what it takes to get affordable housing built. It's not that bad these days. Like, we did suffer a great recession, and we did suffer the demise of redevelopment, and we've seen double-digit construction cost increases. There have been a lot of problems along the way and a lot of problems solved along the way. And in some ways, there's nothing that I could emphasize more than TNDC's gratitude and our feeling that while we're the ones up here on the stage and our name is on the title, this truly is a community asset. We would never be able to come close to doing this alone. In particular, every project that TNDC does, virtually every project, our key partner is the Mayor's Office of Housing, and we just really appreciate the partnership and the work that we do together. There are too many to call out. Many of the people here, you all were contributors. We want to thank you all for it. So I will close. We are doing a ribbon cutting. So this is instructions to people who want to be in the picture. We're going to do that immediately after we close, right here in front. We have units available to visit, numbers 207, 506, and 902. So that's second floor, fifth floor, and ninth floor. And of course, don't miss the courtyard, don't miss the rooftop garden, and there's food. Thank you all for coming.